lucerito sin vela, mi sangre de la herida, no me hagas sufrir más. Mi vida, bala perdida, por la gran vía, charquito de arrabal. No quiero que te vayas, no quiero que te alejes, cada día más y más. Mi vida, lucerito sin vela.
Aquí no pegamos a los ojos.
Mi vida, charquito de agua turbia, burbuja de jabón, mi último refugio, mi última ilusión. No quiero que te vayas, cada día más y más. Mi vida, lucerito sin vela, mi sangre de la herida, no me hagas sufrir más.
So real quick before we go into the next piece, who here, raise your hand if you were a Jewish Israeli in that historical process. All right, so let me ask you something. When you were there, what do you think, get back in the mindset for a second, what would you be willing to do to keep things the way they were?
To keep things the way they were, I would probably try to humiliate the opponents that I was trying to keep under control, I suppose you could say. Or try to keep them from feeling like complete human beings so that it would be easier for me to keep demoralizing them.
And that would make it easier for you to stay on top like that. So who here was Palestinian? Raise your hand if you were Palestinian. So what would think about how you were feeling, right? Try to relate, to being somebody living in Gaza. What would you have been willing to do to try to change things? Like how far would you go? What would you be?
Die for the cause, I guess.
You would die. You would be willing to die to change things. So what we're going to do now is talk for 2 seconds. I just want to introduce the U.S.-Palestine Youth Solidarity Network a little bit more. And then Dana and Rania are going to explain what happened this summer. But these are youth who are part of centers in mostly refugee camps, but also in some villages in the West Bank, right here where y'all were. And what they do is they participate in cultural programs, in political demonstrations, in making their own media, trying to tell their story and get it out, get it to cross these borders that they themselves, their bodies can't cross, right? So the idea of the U.S.-Palestine Youth Solidarity Network is building a network of youth from oppressed communities in the U.S. who can't move or can't travel as much, maybe because they have records, maybe because they are underage, maybe because they don't have any money or resources to be able to travel or get out much, right? And then to connect them within this network to Palestinian youth who aren't able to travel because they are living under military occupation, because they're refugees, because soldiers control all of the borders around their lives, right? And so we're using media, we're using hip hop, we're using photography, we're using film and other forms of digital media, poetry and spoken word to connect these youth. And these are tools for youth from these different communities to share their stories with each other so that they can start breaking down some of that isolation that they can feel. And so Dana and Rania will tell you what went down this summer.
So I just want to tell you about 2 workshops that we did in August, and then Dana will tell you about the digital stories that we're going to see. So 2 of the workshops that we did, the first one was about a website and web development. So we brought these youth from these different camps across the West Bank and taught them how to do web design and web development. The second workshop was based on a model that was done in Detroit called LAMP, which stands for Live Arts Media Project. And that is, the goal of that project was creating a hip hop CD, but the process of that was really really exciting and interesting, and that it's engaging in the community, engaging in a social issue in the community. So after figuring out what they want to, what are the main issues, the youth went into the community, did interviews, recorded those interviews, came back, wrote lyrics to a hip-hop track, the hip-hop CD song, dealing with that issue, and inserted those interviews.
We also did a digital storytelling workshop this summer, and it was the second actually. There was one done in January and one done this August, and the basic idea is the young people created life maps of their lives, and out of their life maps they chose a story that was very meaningful for them, and they wrote about it. And then they added images to their stories, still images, either like personal photographs or images they got off the internet, or even they did some photography too this summer where they actually took some photographs. And so what we'll be seeing right now actually is two from this summer, two Ahmed and Hussein's pieces, and then we'll see two from January after this, and I hope you enjoy.